Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar. And today we're going to be going over firm exclusives. This is a new feature that we have inside of Buyside, which is going to be a feature that you can use to show off listings that haven't hit the MLS yet. So if you have a listing that you'd like to show around to see the interest or any of these other reasons that we would want to show off a listing to the other agents in our brokerage before it hits the MLS, we can do that here. My name's Tom Shively, and I'm the Director of Training here at Buyside. And I'm also joined by Caitlin Grubb, your account manager extraordinaire, and Maggie Evans, who is going to be helping us out throughout this presentation. So first off, if we have any questions, there is a chat box that you see over on the right-hand side. That is your questions box. We will have a Q&A at the very end. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and type them out in there, and we'll get to those once we get to the end of our presentation. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So a quick agenda for what we're going to be looking at today is we'll take a look at firm exclusives. So how do we enter these in? How do we, what are the fields that we have to put in to get your firm exclusives in there? Where do they show up? And then how does it work? So we'll take a look at all of those different things about your firm exclusives. We'll also talk about updating buyer profiles and why that's important, why it's important to go in and update those profiles when we see buyers inside of our system. So if you see them on your dashboard, why should I go in and update this buyer profile? We'll take a look at that. And then, of course, your firm exclusive notifications. There is a number of different ways that the system about these firm exclusives. So we'll take a look at that as well. And again, at the very end, we'll have a Q&A. So if you have any questions at all, go ahead and let us know. All right, so first is big data is not the future, big data is now. So if you've seen one of our presentations before, you know that we've talked about this before, and this is the signals that we talk about that are all over online that show us the direction that the market is taking or the industry is taking or whether somebody is ready to buy or sell. Now, the reason I bring this up in this presentation is because these firm exclusives are going to be those signals. We can see before something hits the MLS of whether somebody's ready to buy or sell or not. So even before it gets there, we get to see those things. So we'll get to see those listings and what buyers are interested in those listings before it goes to that MLS. And it's such a simple thing to do. Now, the reason I'm saying that we can do that is because with Buyside, with those firm exclusives, what we're doing is circulating it around your brokerage. So this is like in the Monday meeting, right? Somebody raises their hand and says, hey, I have a new listing. Are there any buyers looking for this? And you can show that off to everyone in your brokerage. So you're able to show off this great new listing you have, even if it hasn't hit that MLS just yet. So we'll be able to see that today. Now, again, the challenge for a lot of the things that we find in real estate is that there is this information in all of these different places. And now you're going to be able to see that. So whether it's listings that are coming from the MLS, it's buyers that come from your other agents that are in your office or in your brokerage, you're going to be able to see those in one consolidated place. So today we're going to be talking about how we can close deals, but close them faster and also identify those people that we can pair up. So the client that I have and the agent that I can be working with that also has a similar client. So we can pair those people up and close those deals faster. And we're going to be able to do that. So remember, there is strength in numbers, and we're going to talk about adding buyers, adding your coming soons, your firm exclusives, and make sure that you are alerted when these go live, when they are inside of the system. So that is what we're going to be looking at today. Now, again, there is something I do like to bring up, and that is we do have an insiders group. So if you do want to take a look at this, you can go in and see. That is buysideinsiders.com. It is a Facebook group. It's actually going to take you to Facebook. So you can see some best practices, some tips and tricks, and of course, some testimonials. And then if you have any questions, we do have a world-class support team. So if you wanted them to review what we're talking about today, or if you run into any issues, you can always email us at support@getbuyside.com, and a real person is going to respond to you, usually within an hour. Okay, so that is what we're looking at today. So let's go ahead and jump in. This should look familiar. This is your dashboard. So we have a couple of things here. Now we're going to be looking at our firm exclusives, and you can actually see it says it on the bottom of each of these listings. I've put them in firm exclusive. Now, just so you know, I did actually take these addresses off of your website. So if this is your listing, if one of you is looking, going, hey, that looks familiar, just so you know, this is a demo. This is a demo purpose. So if those are yours, don't freak out. But what we can see here is we have our buyer up on top, and you can see there are 53 MLS matches that go along with that buyer. So we'll be talking about how we can work that and how we can use that to our advantage. And then, of course, our firm exclusives. So this is a listing that has not hit the MLS yet. You can see that it's in red. If it was in black and you saw an MLS number, that would be a listing that's on the MLS. But we can see that this hasn't hit it yet. And there are 72 potential matches. So 72 people whose buyer profile matches this listing. So if somebody is nervous to put their listing on the MLS, they don't know if there's going to be too much interest, or if you just want to get this listing on the MLS before your photographer has sent you the photos, we can do that as well. So there's a lot of reasons that we would want to put it in here and start to get that process started, see that interest, get those matches, and start to work on that listing. Okay, so here's how we enter